diamonds, emeralds, sapphires worth millions. But what happens when royalty commissions something and it turns out ugly? Royal jewellery is supposed to dazzle. It's meant to project power, elegance, and timeless beauty. But sometimes, royalty gets it wrong. Today, we're counting down the 5 ugliest royal jewels ever created. Not the most valuable, not the most historic. The ugliest. Let's begin. Number 5, the SAYN-WITTGENSTEIN-BERLEBURG Diamond Spike Tiara. On April 2010, Carina Axelsson attended Queen Margrethe II of Denmark's 70th birthday celebrations in Copenhagen. She's the longtime partner of Prince Gustaf of SAYN-WITTGENSTEIN-BERLEBURG, and for years, she'd borrowed tiaras from her mother-in-law, Princess Benedicta's collection, when attending royal events. But that night, she wore something new. The SAYN-WITTGENSTEIN-BERLEBURG Diamond Spike Tiara appeared for the first time. And jewellery experts immediately started asking questions. Where did it come from? Who made it? And why does it look unfinished? The tiara features a base of scrolled circular motifs, each containing articulated diamond pendants that move with the wearer's head. Above that sits a row of tall diamond spikes, each topped with a large round brilliant cut diamond. The design is geometric, modern, and aggressively tall. The spikes rise dramatically from the base, creating maximum height and presence. Here's the problem. The spikes don't continue all the way around the tiara. They end abruptly at the sides, leaving the back of the tiara noticeably lower than the front. This creates a visual imbalance that jewellery critics immediately noticed. From the front, the tiara looks imposing, almost aggressive. From the side, it looks like someone forgot to finish the design. One royal jewellery blogger wrote, "I just wish the spike elements continued around the tiara. They end quite abruptly, leaving the tiara top-heavy." Another noted, "As tiaras go, this feels very spiky and geometric and tall," which is not a recipe for something easy to wear. There's a bit of softness in the small scrolls in the base row, but I think it can feel rather harsh. The tiara has become her signature piece, which makes sense. Princess Benedicta owns 3 major tiaras, and when all 3 daughters and daughters-in-law attend the same event, someone needs to bring their own. But signature doesn't mean universally loved. The harsh, geometric design divides opinion. Some appreciate its modern aesthetic and dramatic height. Others find it cold, unfinished, and too aggressive for a tiara meant to project elegance. The abrupt ending of the spikes remains the most commonly cited flaw. It gives the tiara an incomplete appearance, as if the jeweller ran out of diamonds halfway through and decided to stop. For a piece worn by a princess at some of Europe's most prestigious royal events, that's not the impression you want to create. The diamond spike tiara proves that even modern designs can miss the mark. Sometimes contemporary doesn't mean better. Sometimes it just means pointy. Number 4. Princess Astrid of Norway's gold Bandeau tiara. In the mid-1950s, Princess Astrid of Norway received a package in the mail. Inside was a gold tiara studded with semi-precious stones. It came from her grandmother, Princess Ingeborg of Sweden, who included a note that would become legendary. Princess Ingeborg didn't believe the tiara was real. She thought it was costume jewellery, worthless trinkets wrapped up and sent along because she was clearing out old boxes. But Astrid decided to check. She took the pieces to the jeweller Tostrup in Oslo, expecting confirmation that her grandmother was right. She was wrong. The tiara was real gold. The stones, red, green, and multicoloured gems arranged in irregular patterns, were genuine. And the piece was far older than anyone had realised. It had belonged to Astrid's great-grandmother, Duchess Pauline of Nassau. The tiara dated back to the mid-1800s, part of a parure that included a massive corsage brooch and matching earrings. Here's the problem. The gold bandeau looked nothing like a traditional royal tiara. Instead of diamonds arranged in elegant scrolls or floral motifs, this piece featured polished yellow gold as its base material. Semi-precious stones, green, red, white, scattered across the surface like random decorations, gave it an arts and crafts aesthetic that felt more bohemian than regal. The design was a complete circlet, wrapping all the way around the head. But the proportions felt off. Too low to project grandeur. Too busy to look refined. The irregular placement of the coloured stones created visual chaos rather than harmony. The gold bandeau's recent notable public appearance came in 2024, when Astrid wore it to the state banquet at Royal Palace in Oslo, Norway. The gold bandeau proves that sometimes, even real gold and genuine gemstones can't overcome a design that simply doesn't translate across centuries. What looked artistic in 1850 looks eccentric in 2025. And when your own grandmother thinks it's fake, that tells you everything you need to know. Number 3. Princess Astrid of Norway's feather aigrette. An aigrette is a small ornament worn in the hair, usually featuring feathers or feather-like designs. They were popular in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when women secured them to headbands or combs to add height and drama to their hairstyles. Princess Astrid of Norway owns a diamond feather aigrette that pushes the definition of tiara to its absolute limit. The piece consists of a slim frame, essentially a delicate wire band, topped with a small element of diamond-set feathered wings. That's it. No grandeur, no architectural presence, just 2 tiny diamond wings perched on a nearly invisible base. The aigrette reportedly came from the collection of Queen Maud of Norway, Astrid's grandmother. The feather aigrette can be worn with 2 different ornaments. The first is a pair of delicate diamond wings, creating a subtle, almost ethereal effect. The second is a ruby and diamond antennae element, featuring 2 ruby and diamond stalks that rise above the head like insect feelers. Let's address the obvious. This doesn't look like a tiara. It looks like hair jewellery from a 1920s flapper costume. The slim frame disappears into the hair, leaving only the ornament visible. When Princess Astrid wears the diamond wings version, photographs show 2 small glittering shapes hovering above her head. It's understated to the point of invisibility. When she wears the ruby and diamond antennae version, it looks like she has insect feelers sprouting from her hairline. Princess Astrid has worn the aigrette to state banquets over the years, including the Icelandic state visit to Norway in 1997 and again in 2017. Each time, the piece generates the same question: is that a tiara? Or did she just pin something to her hair? The answer, technically, is both. The aigrette represents a very specific era of jewellery design, when women wore small, delicate ornaments rather than imposing tiaras. For Queen Maud, who lived through the Edwardian era and the 1920s, this style made perfect sense. Hair was worn in elaborate updos that could support small jewelled accents without overwhelming the overall silhouette. But on a modern royal at a 21st century state banquet, the aigrette looks lost. It's too small to photograph well from a distance, too delicate to project the authority expected of a tiara, too specific to its original era to translate effectively. Princess Astrid clearly loves it. She wears it regularly, alternating between the diamond wings and the ruby antennae depending on her outfit. For her, it's a personal connection to her grandmother, Queen Maud, and a lighter alternative to her heavier tiaras. But critics have been less kind. The phrase "barely a tiara" appears repeatedly in jewellery blogs and royal fashion commentary. Sometimes a piece is so tied to a specific person and a specific era that it can't survive the transition to modern tastes. The feather aigrette is beautiful in its own way, delicate and historically significant. But as a tiara, it barely qualifies. And that's the problem. Number 2. Princess Madeleine of Sweden's Aquamarine Bandeau. When Princess Madeleine of Sweden turned 18 in June 2000, her parents gave her a tiara. It was an heirloom from her great-grandmother, Queen Louise of Sweden, and it carried significant history. The internet immediately nicknamed it the Cyclops. The Aquamarine Bandeau features a single large aquamarine set between 2 thin rows of diamonds. That's the entire design. No additional flourishes, no surrounding elements, just one massive blue-green stone staring out like a giant eye. The tiara is believed to have been the Aquamarine Bandeau given by Prince Andrew and Princess Alice of Greece to Lady Louise Mountbatten when she married Crown Prince Gustav Adolf of Sweden in 1923. Princess Madeleine wore the tiara occasionally during the 60s and 70s, but it never became a signature piece for any of them. When Madeleine received it as her 18th birthday gift, many assumed it was a newly created piece. The design looked Art Deco, sleek and modern, the kind of minimalist aesthetic that could have been commissioned specifically for a young princess entering the 21st century. But its simplicity became its downfall. 2 thin diamond rows, 1 large aquamarine. Nothing else. The tiara's starkness works against it. There's no visual balance, no surrounding context to soften the impact of that single stone. The aquamarine dominates completely. And because it's set in a plain frame, all attention goes to the gem itself. And that gem looks like an eye. A large, unblinking, blue-green eye. Princess Madeleine wore the Cyclops for the first time publicly at the Nobel Prize ceremonies in December 2000. She paired it with aquamarine jewellery, creating a coordinated blue-green ensemble. Once Princess Madeleine gained access to larger, more traditional tiaras, the Cyclops disappeared from her rotation. She gravitated toward the modern fringe tiara and especially the Swedish aquamarine kokoshnik, a spectacular piece featuring 5 large aquamarines set in a diamond framework. The kokoshnik is everything the Cyclops is not. Balanced, dramatic, traditionally regal, it photographs beautifully and looks magnificent from every angle. The Cyclops, it photographs like someone stuck a single gem to a headband and called it a tiara. In recent years, Princess Christina, Madeleine's aunt, has worn the Aquamarine Bandeau on occasion, including to King Carl XVI, Gustav's 70th birthday banquet in 2016. On Christina, the tiara looks exactly as underwhelming as it does on everyone else. The tiara's defenders argue that its simplicity is elegant, that the single aquamarine allows the beauty of the stone to speak for itself, without distracting embellishments. The tiara's critics counter that a tiara needs more than 1 stone to avoid looking like costume jewellery. The minimal design, rather than creating elegance, creates emptiness. The Aquamarine Bandeau represents a common problem in royal jewellery. Not every heirloom ages well. What looked sophisticated in 1923 looks sparse in 2025. And when even the princess who received it as a birthday gift avoids wearing it, that tells you everything. The Cyclops remains in the Swedish royal vaults, waiting for someone brave enough or fond enough of aquamarines to bring it out again. Number 1. Queen Margrethe of Denmark's Golden Poppy Tiara. In 1976, Queen Margrethe II of Denmark commissioned a tiara that would become one of the most controversial pieces of royal jewellery in existence. She turned to Danish jewellery designer AIGRETTE with a vision. She wanted something that portrayed a summer meadow swaying in the breeze, a modern tribute to the Nordic heritage, harnessing an elegant Renaissance spirit. What she got was golden poppies with insects crawling through them. The golden poppy tiara is composed of 8 detachable poppies made from 21-carat gold, hammered into thin plates to create delicate floral shapes. Inside each flower sit pearls and diamonds representing stamens and pistils. But Greeks didn't stop there. He added dewdrops, carved opals, aquamarines and moonstones, nestled inside some of the flowers and leaves. And then, for reasons that remain mysterious, he added insects, creepy, bejeweled insects, crawling across the flowers, made from crystals, opals, moonstones, pearls and diamonds. The tiara doesn't sit on the head like a traditional diadem. Instead, it attaches to a comb at the back of the wearer's head. Snake-like golden threads extend from the comb, hidden in the hair, spreading in all directions. Each thread ends with a poppy or a leaf, creating the illusion of flowers growing out of the queen's head. When Queen Margrethe wears the full set, all 8 poppies, the effect is overwhelming. Golden flowers appear to sprout from her hair in every direction, some facing forward, some to the sides, creating a chaotic garden that defies traditional tiara aesthetics. The piece is part of a larger parure that includes matching earrings and a necklace. The earrings each feature a single poppy, from which 3 smaller golden poppies hang on diamond-encrusted threads. The necklace continues the theme with additional poppies and dewdrops. Queen Margrethe has worn the golden poppy tiara regularly throughout her reign. She's the only member of the Danish royal family to wear it, and she shows no signs of retiring it despite decades of criticism, and the criticism has been relentless. One blogger wrote bluntly, "I don't think there is a single other piece of jewellery that I dislike more. This has to be the worst hairpiece ever." Greeks defended his creation, explaining that he wanted to capture the organic, natural feeling of a meadow. The insects were intentional, representing the living ecosystem of the flowers. The irregular placement mimicked how flowers grow in nature, not arranged in neat rows. Queen Margrethe clearly shares his vision. She wears the tiara with confidence, often pairing it with bold, modern evening gowns. She's a trained costume designer herself, and she understands that jewellery is theatre, a visual statement that communicates personality as much as status. But here's the problem. The golden poppy tiara doesn't communicate majesty. It communicates eccentricity. The golden poppy tiara represents the ultimate collision between artistic vision and royal tradition. Greeks created exactly what Queen Margrethe asked for: a modern, naturalistic piece that broke every rule of traditional tiara design. And in breaking those rules, he created something that many experts consider the ugliest royal tiara ever made. Beauty, of course, is subjective. Queen Margrethe loves her golden poppies. She's worn them proudly for nearly 50 years, never wavering despite decades of criticism. These jewels challenged every traditional rule of royal elegance. Diamond spikes that end abruptly, golden bandeaus that grandmothers thought were fake, aigrettes that barely qualify as tiaras, single aquamarines nicknamed the Cyclops, and golden poppies with crawling insects that critics called the worst hairpiece ever. Beauty is subjective. One person's masterpiece is another person's disaster, and sometimes the ugliest jewels tell the best stories. If this breakdown kept you hooked, hit like, share it with someone who loves royal jewellery mysteries, and subscribe for more surprising royal secrets every week. Thanks for watching.